I will come back again and take you to myself, so that where I am, you also may be. Where I am going, you know the way." And Thomas said to him, "Master, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way?" And Jesus said to him, "I am the way, and the truth, and the life." Good morning on this Wednesday, May 13th. I'm Father Walter. I'm here with Brother Hyacinth at St. Vincent's Shrine, and together we're working with you on this Mystagogy project, and working with learning from the risen Lord how to live with Him in this time which is Pentecost. And over the first 2 weeks, we studied and pondered the sacramental life and the moral life as parts of this Easter peace we share with the risen Lord. And if you stop there, you could easily think that following Jesus is a matter of behavior only, worship and service. And certainly those things figure prominently in the Christian life. They're crucial to it. And they respond to the fact that Jesus is the truth, whom we worship, and He is the way in which we walk, doing good and avoiding evil. But He is also the life. And He engages with us fully, knowing what lies beneath our behavior, both the worship and the service. And it's that Jesus wants to connect via the Spirit and the sacraments with our inner self in all its individuality. And so we've already spoken the last couple of days about how Jesus connects to what concerns us, what makes us afraid, and how He connects with our inner complexity, which has a lot to do with the ways in which we're afraid. But today, in the Gospel, we see Him make another assertion about our inner self. He says, "Where I am going, you know the way." Now, when He says that, Thomas gives the very sensible response of saying, "Well, we don't know where you're going. How can we know the way?" When Jesus says, "I am the way," well, what does that mean? It means that deep down, you and I have a desire to be with Him where He is. And that desire is not just something that we read about in the Gospel as a promise. It's something that has been placed in our very gut. We happen to be recording this on Mother's Day, so I'm going to cite my mother as the best expert on heaven. She said, "You know, I am constantly homesick, and I never leave home. I have a longing to be somewhere else." She was putting succinctly something that all of us come to feel, I think. We come to recognize the incompleteness of our life here. That our work, our home, our friends, our lovers, our children, all of these are wonderful gifts. And yet, the sum total of them never quite suffices for unqualified happiness. There's something else. And that something else is God's work. It's an empty place where He wants to meet us. But it's also a place that frightens us, the emptiness. So we respond to it by filling it with shopping or eating or drinking or other things, right? None of which really work, by the way. You know that. What Jesus comes to do is to invite us to make friends with the reality of that empty place and to make it our place of prayer. It's a place where we learn to be comfortable with our smallness and God's greatness, and to recognize that God is, in His greatness, is going to lift up our smallness to satisfy it with Himself. So prayer often begins with us, prayer often begins in our lives as a matter of asking and apologizing. We need something, or we're sorry we did something. Then we grow into being grateful for things. And finally, we come to long beyond things to Him. So in the resurrected life, there is that migration of our relationship with God from being about getting and apologizing to longing, and recognizing with the assistance of the Holy Spirit that we are meant for a home, and we are on the way there, but we are certainly not there. And the gap between there and our place on the way is filled by the longing of prayer. The time we spend alone and in silence, discovering in that silence how loved we are, how desired we are in that place for which we long. Thank you for listening. We'll talk tomorrow.